Welcome and thank you for always joining our discussions. We are presenting a question that was done in KCSE 2020 paper 1 question number 11, a question on geometry. And the question we have reads, using a ruler and a pair of compasses only, construct a parallelogram ABCD in which AB is 6 centimeters, BC 5 centimeters, and angle ADC is 150 degrees. So if this is a parallelogram, we are going to have a tilted rectangle like this, where we have AB, which is 6 centimeters, we have BC, which is 5 centimeters, then of course this is point D, and we have been told that angle D is 150 degrees. Using the properties of a parallelogram, B is going to be 150 degrees. That means C and A will share the remaining 60 degrees, meaning we are going to have 30 degrees. So we are going to measure AB, which is 6 centimeters. Then instead of measuring 150 at D, we can measure that at point B. So we use the ruler to measure exactly 6 centimeters. We can simply draw a straight line, then use that straight line to measure 6 centimeters. 6 centimeters is at this point here, such that this is point A and this is B, and this one is going to be 6 centimeters. Once we have done that, we come and measure an angle of 150 degrees. In this case, since we are not using a protractor, we will be required to construct an angle of 150 at this point. You can stand at point B and draw a semicircle of your own radius. Once we have done that, you stand at this point here. You mark an arc. You also stand at this point, you mark another one, which is going to be 60, 60, 60. But in this case, from this point here to this, we have an angle of 120. So we are going to bisect, because 150, we are going to take 120, we add an angle of 30 degrees. And for us to get that angle, we are going to bisect this 60 into 2. We can open our pair of compass. We draw an arc. We draw another one here. So where the two lines intersect will give us a total of 150, because we have split 60 into 2. That is what we have. The entire of this angle here is going to be 150 degrees. Once we have done that, we have been told that BC is going to be 5 centimeters. You come and use your ruler. You measure 5 centimeters. That is 5 centimeters. You stand at this point here where we have B. You mark off that point and call it C. This is 5 centimeters. Again, using point A, you come and draw an arc at this point here, and then you measure the distance AB, which is 6. You stand at a point C here, then you draw another arc, At point C, you draw another arc. So where the two intersect will be a point D, 36. Let us extend that arc. Yes, this is the point where we are going to place D. Having done that, we can now join A to D. And then we join D to C. And by so doing, we have that parallelogram where D we are going to have a total of 150 degrees. And if you try to measure the angle at point A, it will give you exactly 30 degrees. That is exactly 30 degrees, as you can see. And that becomes the solution to this particular question. Thank you for watching and welcome to our discussions. We are moving to another question that was done in KCSE 2018 paper 1, question number 7. And the question we have reads, using a ruler and a pair of compass only, construct a quadrilateral PQRS in which PQ is 5 centimeters, PS 3 centimeters, QR 4 centimeters, and angle SPQ is a right angle, and angle PQR is 135 degrees. We are going to begin by first drawing this diagram. So we have been told that PQ is 5 centimeters. Remember, we are using a ruler and a pair of compass only. So I'm coming to this point here. I draw a line of any length, then come and measure 5 centimeters. This is a point P. So PQ is going to be 5 centimeters. 5 centimeter is at this point here. This is where I'm going to place my Q and call it 5 cm. Once we have done that, we have been told that PS is 3 centimeters, and at point P we have a right angle. So we are going to be forced to draw a right angle at this point here. It is always important that you construct. So we draw a semicircle of any length. Then we stand here, we mark off an angle of 60. You stand here, you mark off an angle of 60. Then open our protractor, open our compass. We mark off an arc at this point here. We also stand at this other point, we mark an arc. Then we draw 90 at this point here. Then we measure 3 centimeters at this point here. We measure 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters is at this point here. So this is 3 centimeters. And this is a point. This is a point PQRS, PQ, PS is 3 centimeters. This is point S here. We now move again. We have been told that angle PQR is 135, so we are going to construct 135 at Q. Again, we are going to draw a semicircle of our own radius. Then we mark off 60 here. We mark off 60. That means up to this point here we are going to have 120. Remember, 120, we only need 15 to make it 135 degrees. So what we are going to do, we are going to divide this angle into 2. That is 60 into 2, then divide it again further to get, that's what we have. We have split 60 into 2 like that. Then we are going to use the same length to try and split 30 into 2. You stand at this point again, you make an arc. So once we have done that, remember this is 120 plus 30, which is 150. So I'm going to split this into 2. This is where now we are going to have a total of 135 degrees, because this is 120 plus 15, 135 degrees. We are going to measure 4 centimeters from Q. We measure exactly 4 centimeters. This is where we have 4. And this is a point R. Once we have done that, we can join S to R. That is our parallelogram. Then we move to part B. We have been told that part B, the quadrilateral PQRS represents a plot of a land drawn to scale of 1 to 4,000 centimeters. Determine the actual length RS in meters. So what we are going to do is try to come up with this scale, 1 to 4,000. If you take 4,000, you divide by 100 to change centimeters into meters. We are going to have 1 centimeter representing 40 meters. And in this case now, to get RS, we are going to measure the distance in centimeters. The distance in centimeters, we have 7.8 centimeters. And now the actual distance will be 7.8. We multiply by the scale of 40, giving us 312 meters. That is the answer to that particular question. Thank you for watching and welcome to our discussions. And in case you are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, you click the subscribe button, so that anytime we publish a video like this, you will automatically be given a notification. Thank you and welcome.